So today is Monday, October 27. Um, and our last meeting was yesterday, but it was quite a bit our meeting today is a little bit earlier than we usually do it. We do it about 4 or 5 hours later. So I don't think too much has changed in the markets since then, but let's go ahead and take a look. Um, so yeah, Bitcoin opened up. It's kind of pushing up. I don't think it's gonna come back down, to be honest. Well, the weekly time frame is bearish, so there's a chance that it reacts from a daily area of interest, but I don't think that it really will. I think it should just continue to press up. Um, but we do have this like double top forming here, so I suppose anything can happen, and Bitcoin is pretty heavily manipulated. It has pretty drastic moves. So I'm just going to stay away from that one. SPX is pumping. US 30, NASDAQ both opened up very aggressively and have basically maintained this price level. There's no wick on the daily candle, but there wasn't one on Friday either. So there's clearly very many, there's a lot of buying pressure. So here we opened no wick, here we open no wick, here we open no wick. So price has just been pumping on US 30, NASDAQ, same exact thing. Price opens and just presses up and stays up. Now I hate to see that. I mean, it's kind of incredible to see the size of these candles that are pushing up right now. When in reality, like normal price action, it's pretty like consistent. They're relatively normal sized candles, this, that, and the other. But right now, what we're seeing is just pure buying. There's nothing like yes, we had this sell off due to Trump and his tariffs, but since then, it's just been nothing but very strong buying pressure. Gold, on the other hand, opened downwards. We're currently trading underneath the 2 hour EMA. As you can see, when we're above the 2 hour, we buy. When we're below, we're selling. And that's exactly what's been happening. I'm not sure if this is, you know, exactly tradable. I would wait for price to give us a lower time frame confirmation before taking any trades to the downside, potentially coming back and retesting something like this, and then having the continuation down. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the actual forex pairs. These are the ones that we were interested in for today. Starting with EuroCAD. EuroCAD, um, we're waiting for it to react from this daily EMA, and we've already seen one reaction. And then price made it to this other area of interest, had a turnaround on the 4 hour time frame, had a pullback into this previous structure. Pretty solid overall. I was about to send a signal, and then I was like, well, we're still kind of underneath the 4 hour EMA. We're nearing that right now. But I did like the way we reacted off of this 30-minute EMA. We broke above, we retested, we engulfed. And that's usually what I look for before taking any types of trades. But yeah, 15-minute EMA, same thing, pull back, very nice buy. Now, if we were to enter right here, our stop loss would be quite tight, about 20 pips, 20 points. I mean, initially when I was going to send it, it would have been like this. So it would have been about 10 or 15, and that would have already been about a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. I do think it might have slipped away from us. There's no reason, I guess, not to enter from here, other than the fact that your stop loss is going to be quite large. Let's see, that's 1 to 2 just to get to the next area of interest. Because I do expect to have the continuation on the daily time frame. So if we're going to hold it to its next structure point, that would be right here. I guess that's a 1 to 5, 1 to 5.8. And last time we did this, it took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days to get there. So technically we are on day 2 of 5. So the next 3 days we could potentially see take profit get hit on that. But if we could potentially get a pullback into the 30-minute EMA again, that would give us a much, much better entry. Similar to this, we broke above, we maintained above, we retested very cleanly, and then we engulfed. That would be what I would be looking for. I don't want to rush anything. Like, I don't want the first trade of the week to just be, oh, and we're in, you know? I think that we could potentially see a 4-hour candle pullback and then an engulfing, and then we'll actually get the push up because this 4-hour EMA, it holds price quite well. So what we could probably expect to see is this candle to close like this in the next 4 hours. So these are the two scenarios, right? Scenario number one, we close like this, next candle opens, we wick down, and then we close up like this. How to get a different color, but you guys get the idea. It would look something like this, and then the top wick up here, obviously. Or scenario number two, this candle ends up opening, creating a wick into the EMA, and then we close downwards. So we close with the red candle, and then the following candle is the one that gives us the push. It would look like this. And then it engulfs and then has the continuation to the upside. And then the following candles would all be blue. So we're going to see how that looks on the lower time frames. I'm not too confident which of those scenarios will be presented to us, but I do expect some kind of a reaction from this 4-hour EMA. I don't think that price is just going to be able to, bust right through it and continue pressing up. At the very minimum, we will press above it and then close above it and then pull back into the 4-hour EMA and get the reaction from there. So hopefully that made sense. I just don't want to be overly ambitious on this one trade here, although it is one of my top pairs. USD CHF, USD CHF, very, very nice setup here as well. Similar or exactly what I kind of called out last week. Now we have 8 hours left in the daily candles. So that's 2 4-hour candles. In those next 2 4-hour candles, do we think that we're going to get just a straight continuation to the downside? I'm not sure. So we're above this area of interest still. We're still above the daily area of interest. Yes, we have a head and shoulders pattern, which is nice. It's exactly what I called out basically, I think yesterday. And now price has engulfed and is now giving us that press to the downside. I haven't entered this. I haven't sent a signal for it. Still waiting on price to give us a clean break and retest, preferably of the 1 hour, 2 hour time frames, and the 30-minute time frame as well. Now, I was about to send this trade out. I do think it would still be pretty valid. I just think it would have been a little bit risky, to just take this based off of this little pullback and then sell. Even though we did get selling pressure, we have a 30-minute shift of structure, broke underneath the EMA. So let's grade that together then. Weekly time frame is bearish, daily time frame is bearish, 4-hour time frame is currently bullish. Okay, so the 4-hour time frame is currently bullish. If this 4-hour candle closes down here, then the 4-hour time frame will go bearish, therefore giving us a much, much better I would say entry on this pair. Otherwise, we could just close up here, react from the 4-hour EMA, and then continue pressing upwards. So yeah, I'm just going to wait for this 4-hour candle to close, and then I'm going to wait for a pullback, and then I'm going to wait for reaction candle to the downside. Preferably would be down underneath this EMA or underneath this area of interest, but that might not happen. We might have to enter somewhere like this. Stop loss would have to be something like this, maybe 20 pips. And then targeting, I guess the first target would be right here, but that's not much of a risk to reward. So shoulder, head, shoulder, just a 1 to 2 probably. Maybe this structure point right here. And then after that, obviously, way down here would be the next target point. But yeah, I still like this setup. It is reacting the way that I want it to. It's actually doing the same thing that it did right here, where we had the initial reaction down, then we had this pullback, then we had a sell. The only problem is after that, what happened is price completely pressed upwards rather than downwards. So we have to be careful not to get caught in these weird swings. Next is GBP JPY. I think all the JPY pairs opened upwards for the most part. Yeah, AUD JPY, Euro JPY, and NZD JPY. So they opened upwards, and price has yet to sweep this empty space. So we opened, I guess there's a gap on most other charts where price has to mitigate that gap. What I was hoping to see is I was hoping to see price come down and create a triple bottom and then press up. I don't think that that's going to happen. I think we just created a double bottom and now we're retesting the neckline. So if you want to take a riskier trade, then your risky trade is right here above the 1 hour EMA. Price usually trades quite consistently when it's underneath the EMA or when it's above the EMA. Yeah, it looks like we're actually getting that reaction right now. Shoulder, head, shoulder, retested the neckline, double bottom, retested the neckline, and continuation up. Now, there's a chance that if you enter this trade right here, you might get stopped out if price pushes down to here, and then you'd have to re-enter maybe a little bit lower. And then obviously you get a better risk to reward there. But I don't hate this for buys. I think this is a great opportunity to take buys. AUD, USD, weekly time frame. I was looking for sells. Now it looks like price is currently stuck at this area of interest. We do see major reactions from this area of interest. Price swings pretty hard once it rejects this area of interest. So we could actually be seeing that rejection happening up here, and then we might see the continuation happening from here. Now we have to understand that the weekly time frame is bearish, but we are reacting from the weekly EMA, which could act as a support. Daily time frame is also bearish, and 4-hour time frame is currently bullish. So two time frames in sync to sell. We should see a reaction from the daily EMA, which would be fantastic to see. I think that would be probably the biggest thing I'd be looking for. And then the second biggest thing would be a shift of structure on the 30-minute time frame. So we're creating a double top right now. If we could break below this point, break underneath the EMA, have a pullback, and then an engulfing, I would be interested in entering this sell somewhere around here, stop loss 15, 20 points, and then targeting the the bottom of this whole mess right here. So something like this. That is if we actually get the reaction. So this might actually set up sometime tomorrow. 4 hour time frame. Yeah, so this will take two 4 hour candles to sell, because this one closes as a doji, then we sell down to here, and then we get another selling candle down to here. So tomorrow, we might get a 4 hour pullback and then a lower low to happen. So that's what I'll be waiting for, is the actual break and retest for sells. You could take buys, I suppose, but you'd be trading against the weekly and against the daily time frame. So those are a little bit riskier trades. NZD USD. This one is much cleaner in my eyes. Like if there was any like doubt that this is gonna sell, then this right here clears all of those doubts. And I think I went over this, was it yesterday or whenever, but you can see how choppy price is pulling back really, really slowly. It's taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 days that we've been pulling back. When else do you see these types of pullbacks? Right before huge moves to the downside. This is probably the cleanest pair that I've seen in terms of price action. You can see how the sellers happen very quickly. Pullback happens slowly. Selling happens quickly. Pullback happens slowly. Selling happens quickly. You guys get it, right? So this pullback could take another couple of days. Or as soon as we see a full reaction to the downside, we'll just hop in. We'll hop in and we'll hold for 3, 4, 5 days. Here, we ended up closing prematurely. We could have held for one more day. Here, we ended up holding probably a little bit prematurely. I mean, I ended up closing, price ended up pulling back, and then we could have probably taken a second position on the same trade. So yeah, I will just be waiting for the reaction to the downside, a break underneath the EMA. See, we're above the EMA, we broke below and sold. Above the EMA, broke below and sold. So exact same thing. We're above the EMA. We're just going to wait for the break below, a retest if possible, and then the sell. So fantastic looking trade. I mean, you can even set an alarm. If you want to set an alarm on your EMA, all you have to do is click on this, click on your EMA. This will be for the 50 EMA. You just hit when it crosses price, or when price crosses the 50 EMA, and then bam. So now once price crosses the 50 EMA on the 2 hour time frame, I'll get a notification to my phone, and I'll be ready to take this trade. So that's as simple as it gets. This, in my opinion, is way better than AUD USD, although they should move pretty similarly. I just love the way that price action looks. Looks very similar to the way it's moved in the past. CAD CHF. CAD CHF, daily time frame, has pulled back into this previous structure. 4 hour time frame is creating a double top. We are above the 4 hour EMA. We're underneath the daily EMA. But what I'd like to see is price fully breaking underneath the 4 hour EMA, closing below, maybe retesting and then selling. So that's what I'll be still waiting for. Is a clean break, retest, sell. NZD-CHF, same exact thing. We're just waiting for price to actually break underneath our area of interest, our EMA, and then to sell. You guys can do the same thing on this. You just click on your EMA, add an alert, 4 hour time frame, price, bam. So now when price crosses the 4 hour EMA, it'll alert you. Next is GBP NZD. GBP NZD's previous weekly structure, daily, retest daily EMA perfectly. 4 hour time frame. We're above the 4 hour, but we've crossed above the 30-minute retest. It engulfed. This is a trade that I might take right now. Huge stop loss. Why? I'm probably going to take a much risky or a very risky entry, maybe questionable to some. My entry and my stop loss will be underneath the 4-hour candle wick. So if I enter here, my stop loss will be exactly below the wick. Like it'll be identical to the wick right there. Entry would be right here, 30-minute time frame. Yeah, that's what it would look like for me. Might we get stopped out? There's a high chance, but the way that price has been moving, I'm expecting big things. So this could be a fantastic trade. I do like the way we rejected the daily EMA. Yeah, I might just, that's going to go to the top. 30-minute time frame. 15 minutes. um 25 pip stop loss. What time is it? 3:37, so that's 8:37 a.m. GBP NZD 4-hour time frame, 2-hour time frame, has 20 minutes left in it. Now the 2-hour has shifted bullish. So let's grade this together really quickly. Why don't we, right? Let me refresh the page. Okay, weekly time frame, bullish, daily time frame, bullish, 4-hour time frame, bearish. Are we at around psychological level? We got 21,500. Area of interest has been rejected. Weekly time frame, does it have a pattern? I guess you could call this a double bottom. You could call this the neckline. Retesting previous structure, yes. Retesting EMA, no. Candlestick rejection, no. Daily time frame, bullish pattern, no. Retesting previous structure, yes. Retesting EMA, yes. Candlestick rejection. About to have a candlestick rejection, but no, that's the 4-hour. Oops. And then the 4-hour time frame is bearish. Do we have a pattern? No. Do we have a rejecting previous structure? Not exactly, not on the 4-hour. Retesting EMA, no. Candlestick rejection. I'd count this as a candlestick rejection. Shift the structure. The 1-hour has already shifted structure. 1-hour shifted structure. Are we above the 30-minute EMA? Yes. Do we have an engulfing candlestick on the 30-minute time frame? Yes. So it's an 85% trade setup. It's not the best, but it is one that I'm interested in. I will prepare an entry for this. GBP NZD direction buy market order entry is 2.316. This is a swing trade. And the stop loss is it is 28 points. This could go straight to stop loss, so we'll see. All right. Trading view. Trade locker. Yeah, New York session is technically open, but the stock exchange opens in about 50 minutes, I believe. Why is my trade locker take so long to open? GBP NZD. 320. And there we go. All right, why are spreads so bad on this pair? 17 points. That's crazy. Anyways, we'll see what happens with that. I'll set an alarm right here just in case. Worst case scenario, we start off with a loss first thing of the week. Anyways, where were we? Does anyone know? NZD USD, we went over that. AUD USD, we went over that. CAD CHF. CAD CHF, we're waiting for the break and retest of the 4-hour EMA. NZD CHF, we are also waiting for the break and retest of the 4-hour EMA and area of interest. Euro GBP. Still waiting for the break and retest on the daily time frame, waiting for the daily time frame to break above this area of support resistance or just resistance at the current moment, and we're waiting for it to turn into a support. So all of these still remain. This is valid. This is valid. Still good. GBP, JPY, that's the one that I kind of expected to just continue. I don't think we're actually going to get that pullback, so that one comes off of our list. NZD, USD, AUD, USD, CAD, CHF, and those other ones as well. So yeah, we're going to let this one play out. My main take profit will be obviously the daily. So that's a 1 to 11. Now, I don't think I'm actually going to hold for the 1 to 11. We'll see. I think my first TP will probably be the 4-hour EMA and this area of interest, because there's a good chance from here, what we'll do is we'll push up, reject this, come back, retest previous structure, and then push up. So there's actually a chance to take two trades on this. But I don't really think that I want to sit through two trades, or I don't think I want to have to enter two trades. I think I might just hold this one the entire week. This would be a one and done type of trade. So we'll see. We'll see. Anyways, on to the JPY pairs, which are currently bullish. Daily time frame, currently bullish, waiting for price to take out this high on the daily. And I believe that that will happen. So here we've already taken out the high on the daily time frame. So that was a trade that we could have held since last week. Can you believe it? I was so stupid and I decided to exit. So instead of getting a 127.25, we ended up closing with a 1 to 2.25. So we missed out on double the trade. So we got 1/3 of what we could have gotten in the signal group. So that sucks. This one already took out the high. AUD JPY, we're still on the way there. We've already taken this high. We've long been past that one. And then here we also swept the high. So technically, take profit was hit on 1, 2, 3, 4 out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 JPY pairs. So that means one of two things. One, we could continue pushing up until all of these reach the high, and then we just continue making higher highs and higher highs. Or two, we might see a reaction to the downside because a majority of these pairs have already reached the high, and we might have a pullback that is due to happen. Regardless, I'm not really interested in trading the JPY pairs. Euro NZD. Euro NZD. is one that I was interested in taking buys. Weekly time frame is bullish. Daily time frame is bullish. Now, this is going to look almost identical to GBP NZD. We are bullish 4-hour time frame underneath the EMA, but we have had a nice reaction candle. 2-hour time frame created a double bottom. We're retesting the double bottom on the 2-hour time frame. As you can see, the 2-hour EMA here does quite a little bit of work to hold price down. But we are trying to break above the 30-minute EMA and potentially retest to continue to buy. Yeah, very, very similar market structure to GBP NZD. Something you guys will notice is what happened when we opened in the markets. We opened directly downwards. We have no top wick on this daily or weekly candle. That could mean, well, that really just means one thing. If we go through, like I'll zoom out as much as I can to fit price in. Find me one candle that doesn't have a bottom wick. There's only one right here. I think that's the only one that doesn't have a wick on both sides. So if we do the math, it's like a 1 in 100 chance that price ends up opening and continuing down without creating that top wick. So at the very minimum, price will return to this area right here to create a small top wick to potentially continue to sell, or, which I think is a higher probability, we will react and actually continue to push up into the daily structure. With the weekly time frame, with the daily time frame, which are both bullish, we should see that continuation happening. But yeah, GBP CHF, GBP CHF. Weekly time frame is bearish. Daily time frame is currently bearish. 4-hour time frame is currently bearish. So, nope, it's currently bullish. So 4-hour time frame has shifted bullish. We began a pullback. Now, I've been waiting for this CHF pullback to happen for a while. I think it's a daily pullback that will take us back into this area of interest before we can then sell. Lots of waiting to be done, so not going to trade just quite yet. AUD CHF, I thought was going to break through, or I thought was going to sell underneath this daily area of interest. Very clean. We have 1, 2, 3 structure points, but no, we decided to retest the daily EMA, which is honestly even better for us. We get a better entry, much cleaner. So tomorrow, I honestly expect tomorrow to give us a reaction to the downside. I will be interested in trading this, even though we do have these 2 other pairs as well. But yeah, these 3 CHF pairs especially look clean. This one, also not bad at all. Euro CHF has almost made it back to my area of interest and is now starting to have a reaction to the downside. We have retested some of these 4-hour structures and wicks. Yeah, CHF looks like it's going to sell off this week pretty nicely. We have 4 CHF pairs that we're interested in trading. So we don't really need all CHF pairs. What's funny is I was on the school community yesterday or today, and there's a guy who's sharing his weekly pairs. And he had 5 pairs that he was interested in. 4 of those 5 pairs were CHF pairs. Like it was AUD CHF, NZD CHF, USD CHF. No, CHF. It was CAD or CAD pairs. So USD CAD, NZD CAD, Euro CAD, GBP CAD. All of them were CAD pairs. And I'm like, well, it makes sense that they're all going to do the same thing, but do you really want to trade every single one of them? So that's what I'm trying to do, is not have the same pair, not trade every single pair that is CHF. Anyways, AUD NZD weekly time frame is bullish. Daily time frame is bullish. I think price has decided which way it's going to continue to go. I thought we were going to get a nice break and retest underneath this area. Not going to happen. 4-hour time frame has also shifted bullish. Now, what we could probably expect is a pullback, previous structure, EMA, area of interest, and then a push to the upside. That would be nice to see. Do we think we're probably going to get that entire pullback? I don't think so. I think we might actually just pull back into this structure. So something more like this, and then price would push back. So the candle or the wick for tomorrow's candle would just pull back like so, and then the candle would end up closing bullish overall. GBP USD. GBP USD weekly time frame last week closed as a bearish engulfing. This week we opened directly upwards. Daily time frame is bearish. We pulled back and are having another pullback into some of the previous structures there. If it's a daily pullback, I would like to see at least one more day of pulling back, maybe to fully retest this area. But the way that price has been moving here, it's pretty consistently underneath the 4-hour time frame or 4-hour EMA. So we might just see the retest happen like so, and then the sell happen to the downside right there. And if not, then we might actually break above and start to trade above the EMA and continue to push upwards. Now we do have 2 time frames in sync to sell, so I wouldn't take any buys. I'd wait for this weekly wick to get filled. I do think that the weekly wick, like this candle, last week we engulfed. This week we're creating the wick up, and then the candle is going to close down. So during the next 4 days, at some point, this weekly candle should turn around and start heading to the downside. We can do the same thing here. How many candles do you see with no bottom or top wick? Well, I found one right here, but they're kind of few and far in between. This one closed with no top wick. But yeah, overall price usually ends up creating that wick in the opposite direction. Euro USD. What is going on here? Euro USD looks like it's going to sell. It looks like it's going to sell. It looks like we have the sellers came into the market. We pressed it down. We had the pullback into previous structure. Price sold. We tried to break above. We couldn't. And now we are kind of in this area where I believe price should react from this daily EMA, creating a ugly double top, whatever you want to call it. And then price will sell, maybe pull back to this previous structure and then sell even more. Now, how much is it going to sell? I have no idea. How far down? Weekly time frame is currently bullish. Daily time frame is currently bearish, and 4-hour time frame is currently bullish. So I would wait for the 4-hour time frame to, at the very minimum, break below, maybe create a retest and then sell, and then you could get your entry. For an aggressive entry, you'd enter right here, stop loss above the area of interest or above structure, and then targeting next market structure right here. That would be to sweep these lows. The equal lows is like an easy target. 1 to 2.5, easy trade right there. After that is Euro CHF. Wow, when I started this call, I said it was going to be much shorter than previous calls, but I lied. Weekly time frame is bearish. We opened and we went directly up into the previous structure area of interest. We are starting to see the reaction. Same thing here. I would just wait for price to break back underneath the 4-hour EMA, maybe retest it and then sell. With the 30-minute EMA, same thing. When we're above, we buy nicely. When we're below, we sell nicely. So just wait for the break, the retest, and then the sell. GBP CAD weekly time frame is currently bullish. Exactly what I said yesterday. Right here, we're currently inside of this wedge. I mean, I've been saying this since like over here. So 2 weeks ago. We're just going to continue bouncing around inside of this area. We might retest to sell, but only shortly. And then we'll end up back up here, retesting the top of this wedge. USD CAD. We have finally reached previous structure, the area of interest. I believe we just tapped into it. No, we did not just tap into it. We're so close. We're so close. So I do believe we might actually have another day of selling a doji, maybe something like this, where we have a bearish candle, a doji candle, and then from there we will see buyers coming back into this market to continue to buy. We're underneath the 4-hour EMA. So even if right now we have a reaction up, it would probably only be temporary to sell back down to here, and then we'd probably continue to push up. Now, if we had already retested this area down here, had a daily doji, and the EMA was still up here, then I would expect us to have something like this, where we push up, then we have a small pullback, and then we have a continuation. And then the EMA would just do this. The price would go up, retest, break above, retest, and then buy. And that's what I would expect price to do there. AUD CAD weekly time frame looks like it's going to have that continuation to the upside with the weekly time frame, which is bullish. Daily time frame is currently bearish. Now, AUD CAD and USD or AUD USD are going to look very, very similar. So if AUD USD is going to sell, then AUD CAD will most likely sell as well. Daily time frame is bearish, and so is the 4-hour time frame. What we could be doing is filling in some of this empty space right here. Maybe we'll hit this and then break below, retest, break below, and sell. Now, the only reason I'm saying that is because we still have 2 time frames that are bearish. If we had 2 time frames that were bullish, then it would be a different story, and I would be looking to take buys. Only thing stopping us from selling or preventing good selling from happening is the fact that we are above the daily EMA. Whoops, I'm so bad at drawing. Above the daily EMA and also above this 4-hour EMA. So in order to sell this, it would be smart to wait for price to actually break below, EMA to come up and over, and then selling would be much easier. Right now, what I can see price doing, if we're just looking at this through the lens of what banks and things like that see, we have a lot of stop losses, buy orders, and everything inside this area that was created by this consolidation right here. Now, if we sweep all of this, then anyone who's interested in selling has a lot of buyers who are interested in buying that product, or in this case, it's currency. So here we could be filling a lot of those sell orders, and then after that, we might see price flipping and then actually creating a wick right here, or rather this being the wick, and then here we have the candle to the downside. So we'll see what happens. This will probably take another day or so to clear up the price action and actually show us what's going to be happening there. NZD CAD, this is a little bit clearer to see. We already have the reactions. We already have price retesting the area of interest, retesting the EMA on the daily time frame, 4-hour time frame. Whoops. I got to get rid of this drawing tool. There we go. 4-hour time frame is creating like a double top, or rather we are, I think the 2-hour time frame looks more like the double top, or instead of the double top, we have a head and shoulders. Either way, in order to take this trade to the downside with the weekly time frame, with the daily time frame, the 4-hour time frame is currently bullish from right here to here. So in order for us to take this sell, at the very minimum, I'd want to be underneath the trend line and underneath the EMA. Sorry, my brain is starting to not work properly. Yeah, so we want to be underneath all of this information in order for us to take those proper sells to the downside. And then our first take profit would be this area of interest right here, which has held price up for quite a while. Last 2 pairs are GBP AUD and Euro AUD, both of which will look pretty similar. Weekly time frame here is bullish. Daily time frame here is bullish as well. On Euro AUD, weekly time frame is bullish, and daily time frame is bullish as well. So both have very, very similar market structure. We are breaking underneath the daily EMA right now. We are already underneath the daily EMA here. We're going to be underneath the 4-hour, underneath the 4-hour. Now, what I would expect is, like I had marked up already, if I'm going to be taking buys with the higher time frames, I want to be taking buys in an area where I will have no resistance, or at least as little resistance as possible, which basically means above the daily EMA, above the 4-hour EMA. Same thing with this, above the daily EMA, above the 4-hour EMA. Now, you can see how difficult it is for us to break out of this channel. So we're going to have to be extra patient for this pair, which is why I'm currently not really interested in taking any trades here. Okay, so do you guys have any questions while I order these by what is ready and what is not ready? So what is this here? GBP NZD. GBP NZD. New 4-hour candle just opened, which is probably what we should have waited for before taking this entry. But we took it like 30 minutes ago, so it is what it is. Anyways, this one I think is ready, in my opinion. 2-hour time frame. It did close with a doji candle, so that is kind of unfortunate. After doji candles, there do happen to be selling candles. And one thing that price could be targeting is this double bottom on the 2-hour time frame. So if price does reach our stop loss, there's a chance that it does want to continue to push up. But this was what we had to reach before we ended up before price ended up pushing higher. So something we'll have to watch and be aware of. Anyways, EuroCAD is, I think, the next pair that would be ready. So we have a 4-hour bullish engulfing. Here we have a 4-hour bearish engulfing. CHF pairs would be a little bit more ready. Okay. So for this one, realistically, all we're waiting for is it could be two things. One, a break and retest to buy, which would take longer, obviously, but in this case, potentially just a retest to buy. For USD CHF, either a retest to sell or a break and retest of the area of interest to sell, which is the safer option. And it is probably one that I will take myself. Now, one thing to understand is that the 4-hour time frame is still bullish, which is why I'll probably stay away for a little bit longer, unless I absolutely love what I'm seeing. So here in this case, if price ends up closing with a bearish engulfing 30-minute candle like this, I might consider entering something like so, but that would still be quite risky. I prefer to see the 4-hour time frame shift bearish first. Yeah. So that could be pullback to sell. This one could be a pullback to sell. These could all just be pullback to sells, or in my opinion, what would be smarter is the actual break and retest to sell. Here would take a little bit longer. Let's see. Yeah, for this one in particular, it would be a 30-minute break and retest to sell. Here it would be a 4-hour break and retest to sell of the EMA, break and retest of the EMA and the area of interest. Here, break and retest of the EMA, break and retest of the 30-minute EMA to sell, and then Euro GBP, it was a daily break and retest, which could take up to a week, realistically. Like this week, we could get 3 days of buying, 2 days of selling, and then next week we could get the push up. So those are all things to understand and expect from these pairs. Any questions? Anything that you guys wanted to go over if you missed it? And if not, then thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.